Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know that I feel good. Doing things I never thought I could. Smiling
There
in the
we
mirror.
go. Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday to you all. Happy October. Thank you all so much for joining us. I see we've got, oh my gosh, so many people joining us. It's going to be such an incredible Real Talk today. We have some amazing guests planned for you. So thank you all for taking your time, spending the next hour with us and tuning in for sure. I want to welcome you to Real Talk. If for those of you that don't know me, or this may be your first show that you're tuning into, my name's Abby Welts. I'm the National Director at Homes for Heroes and your host for today. The purpose of these webinars that we do called Real Talk in this series is to really talk about truly the real issues and challenges that we're facing in the real estate and the lending industry right now, and what top professionals in both of those respective industries are actually doing, the actions they're taking, what they're implementing, the steps they're making to position themselves for success through what is, as we all know, a forever changing world and landscapes in our business. So it's truly here to pour into you to better equip us all with success strategies to elevate the bar in our industries and ultimately better serve our clients. Before we go ahead and dive into our guests that will be joining us on this month's show, I want to do a couple of quick housekeeping things for you guys. I will keep it brief. First and foremost, this is for you. You're spending the time investing in your own success. Please be present through that. Try not to multitask as much as possible. Listen openly and take in the things that resonate with you, that play to your strengths, not necessarily your weaknesses, and grab all you need is one idea, but grab 1 to 3 ideas that you guys would like to implement to set yourself up for success in your local market. So be present, be here with us. And next, use the chat feature. I absolutely love the chat feature in these styles of webinars because it can operate like a networking opportunity. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Let us know if you're a real estate or mortgage professional in there. Throw in some of your key aha moments or key takeaways that you have. And also, if you've got any questions in there, please feel free to go ahead and put those in the chat too. We will have, if there's time permitting, an open Q&A towards the end of our show. So that is enough talking for me. I am going to introduce our very special guest. The first one up that I'd like to introduce is uh, one of the most amazing human beings that I know. I, oh my goodness, this man is a leader in his profession. He does a ton of deals. He's a part of our Homes for Heroes 1000 Heroes Served Club. So he has thanked literally 1,000 heroes and helped them in the home buying or selling process. He is a broker owner of Navy to Navy, his own brokerage. He does an amazing job just leading all of his people. I cannot say enough good things about this man. Please give a warm welcome for Mario Gonzalez. Hi, Mario.
Ooh, thanks, Abby. Thanks for having me today. It's truly it's humbling and it's an honor to be here.
Well, we're very fortunate and grateful to have you here as well. I'm going to have you do a quick intro just after I introduce our other very special guest. This woman, oh my goodness, she is a powerhouse of a mortgage professional. I don't know how she does all that she does day in and day out. It's like a well-oiled machine. She has so much volume that she does. She maintains so many relationships. And I personally know how many events and community things that she does to support her community, all while also having a personal life as well. She is just absolutely extraordinary. Please join us in welcoming Angie Turley. Ooh. Hey, Ange.
I know I was muted. Sorry. It
Okay.
was my Zoom did this update and now it's just crazy. Well, thank you for having me, Abby. I'm excited about this and to share because, going into this next year, everybody needs to have an abundance mindset. So we need to be sharing and all we can.
Yeah, I couldn't share that sentiment enough. So thanks for joining us. As you can see, she's always on the go for sure, even with us here. So for those of that are joining us and tuning in that might not have the honor of knowing either of you, Mario, would you just give a quick introduction of yourself, please?
Oh, goodness. Sure. I guess first and foremost, I'm a 24-year military vet. I came in when I was like 17 years old. So service is just in my blood. I enjoyed serving the nation. Now getting out kind of in the real estate industry, really service is just first with us. So I am the broker and owner of Navy to Navy Homes. Like you said, we have small offices in Jacksonville and Pensacola, but really it's our connection to Homes for Heroes that differentiates us. And we'll talk about that later on. But yeah, it's just an honor to continue to serve, even though I'm out of uniform each and every day to every single hero that comes before us.
Mm, I love that. And you serve your fellow agents so well as well, just elevating the bar and helping serve and support them. So, oh, service mindset, all about it. Angie, kicking it over to you for just a quick introduction of yourself as well.
So I've been doing this for a long time. We calculated the other day, 2/3 of my life now in this industry, which is absolutely insane. But I love what I do. I've been in the business for over 30 years. So thankful we've been able to help, even just this year, over 200 families, especially in a down market. We really focus here in Indiana on our firefighters, police officers, veterans in our community. And we love giving back. So last year, a big milestone for us, we were able to give back with the nonprofit work we do over $1 million to first responders in Indiana with everything that we do. So it was a banner year for us, and it's been absolutely amazing. And Homes for Heroes just helps to elevate us that much more.
Oh, I love it. That's absolutely incredible. Truly remarkable work for sure. Over $1 million is extraordinary to be able to give back and show our gratitude and appreciation for those first responders for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to dive right into the topics. Let's talk market insights. Mario, going to you first. What specific trends are you seeing in your local market, and how are they influencing the way that buyers and sellers are behaving right now?
Sure. So we're down here in Florida, right? So the Southeast, kind of what we're seeing. I mean, we've always been an area where lots of people come to. So I won't kind of go after the COVID stuff, but just kind of what we're seeing right now is still an influx of things that happened after that. So first and foremost, I'll say buyers that bought during like that 2020 to 2022 era with the, crazy interest rates they were getting at, two and change, three and change, whatever. A lot of those folks are making the mind shift set to say, hey, let's not sell right now. Let's actually rent these homes. So we're seeing a lot of homeowners that would sell before, and they're now deciding to rent those homes. So we're seeing that influence things. We're also seeing some owners that are, hey, even though days on market are going up right now. So the homes that are being sold, we're seeing days on market go up. We're seeing numbers of homes go up on the market. So we're seeing owners also trying to sell and rent at the same time. They're floating both options. Those people who do actually have to move and get out and aren't quite sure of anything. We're seeing on the buyer side, we're seeing buyers getting more concessions. We're seeing buyers being able to negotiate things more than they did just a few years ago. We're seeing investors are very heavy in our area, but one of the things that we're not seeing, investors used to, put their offers in real high at the market, and right now investors are going pretty low. They'll come in with all sorts of lowball offers to try and pick up these homes for cash. We're seeing wholesalers actually very active in our market. Those are not licensed real estate professionals. Those are people that are reaching out to specific homeowners trying to sell their home for cash, but they're actually, we call it assigning the contract. And we're also seeing unique offers. We're seeing buyers or investors coming with, we'll call them unique offers, meaning subject to the current mortgage, or asking sellers to hold a portion of their mortgage, or putting a little bit money up front and doing some fancy deed stuff. So we're seeing some creativity on the investor side, if you will. And then sellers are just, they've got to do what they've got to do. Homes are sitting longer on the market. There's more inventory as we're coming up to the 4, 5, 6 months mark. It's getting more of a balanced market rather than being a very heavy sellers market that we're seeing. So that's kind of the overall insights without getting into some of the other stuff that's happening.
I love it. Always great to hear that more homes are coming on market for sure, and to hear what's going on in your local area. Um, it's nice to actually see a little bit of a pickup after the last 12 to 24 months that we've all been through for sure. Angie, kicking it over to you because I know real estate and mortgage go hand in hand. You need the two to come together in order to have home ownership for sure. But our industries are a little bit different. So, in your view, what are some of the most impactful changes happening in the mortgage industry, and how are they affecting the way that you're approaching your business and your clients?
I've been through all of the things with mortgage. We were back in '09 when the mortgage bubble burst and I worked at Countrywide. We were closing no income, no asset loans, and we were closing in 48 hours. I mean, it was the wild, wild west. And then we really tightened up, but we are now starting to see some of the broker options come back, like, Mario was saying with investors. So we're doing DSCR loans now. And Fairway has never been a big company to do brokered stuff, but we are really have dipped our toe in the pool in the last 3 years. And now we're actually underwriting those in house. So we're doing bank statement loans for self-employed clients. We're doing the DSCR loans where they can qualify on the rental income. We don't have caps on debt to income ratio. If we get an approved eligible through the system, we're running with it. We're being competitive with our rates. So we're basically just doing anything outside of the box that we can without going back to where we were in those days. And then just being present and educating people is a big deal right now. I've talked at least 9 people out of refinancing in the last 2 weeks because it doesn't make sense for them right now. And I'm not the one that's ever going to take money from people if it doesn't make sense for them. So we're doing a lot of education. We have a lot of down payment assistance programs as well. Indiana Housing, which is our local down payment assistance program, has went from 4 different loans to now we're up to like 17 in the last 2 years. So I feel like everybody's really expanding what they want to do and who they want to serve. But this time we're being really smart about it, which is what we should have probably done, almost 20 years ago. So for us, it's just stay in front of the people, educate them. With my pre-approved buyers, we're touching base with them once a week. How's it going? How's house hunting? Is there anything you want to change? Or credit repair people, touching base with them every 30 days. So really more of, again, education, follow-up, and just thinking really outside of the box.
I love that. Mario, are you seeing anything? I mean, Indiana and Florida are pretty far apart and very different markets too. Are you seeing kind of similar things with the mortgage professionals that you're working with too?
Absolutely. Exactly what Angie, what she said about kind of mortgage lenders being more, I'll call it in the abundance mindset that she said. They're offering more products. They're getting more flexible. They're thinking outside the box. They're coming up with solutions for buyers to really help them get across the finish line, no matter where they're starting, right? They're not looking for the perfect avatar type buyer. They're listening to what buyers can do. They're coming up with, we'll call it creative solutions, or just offering more products, really, really, really to kind of satisfy the buyer's needs. We're seeing that across the board.
I love that. I want to just dive one more spot deeper into this just a little bit, just because of partnerships are so incredibly powerful to have a really good agent and a really good lender partnered up to get to the finish line for home buyers, especially, and even Angie, people refinancing and turning them down and taking that educational approach. You guys complement each other so much. How have you approached having good, strong partners as an extension of yourselves on the other side of the transaction? Angie, I'll kick it to you first.
Okay. Realtors have been really beat up, and we have 2 in the last couple of years. So like Josh, my business development manager, Abby knew that I was running late because every office we've been in today, there's been realtors there. So Josh has really pushed me outside of my comfort zone of we hit over 30 offices every single month. But we're just loving on these realtors. We're going in, we're taking a silly pop by, if you will. Like today, we handed out emergencies because it's that time of the year that everybody's going to start getting sick in Indiana because the weather, at 9 a.m., it's 40 degrees, and by 5, it's 80, and you have to change clothes 3 times. And it was just, hey, we hope you have a healthy and happy fall. Call us if you need us. So we've really been pushing just loving on our people because I feel like everybody just needs a little bit of extra love. And we're going as far as, we're planning vision board classes with all of our bigger real estate offices. Hey, let us come in, let us bring materials. Let's talk about something that's not real estate. Let's just do some fun things together. We have a euchre tournament tonight. We have a chili cook-off coming. The holiday parties are coming up. So we really are just trying to have fun with our realtors and love on them at the same time.
Mm. A great way to put it. We could all use a little extra love, especially right now in this day and age, for sure. Mario, how about you?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Angie, how long is it going to take you to drive from Indiana to Florida? I'm waiting for the Popeye.
He's on your way right now.
Josh, my business development manager, Mario, he wants an office in Florida, so we might have to talk after this.
There you go. There you go. I mean, to your question there, just about, formulating those relationships that are so strong. I mean, she just touched on it. I mean, it is a relationship, just like it is with customers. It's a relationship with those lenders that really know to find the right ones that are going to care for the customer. If I was going to quote the famous 20th century philosopher, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, right? He says, it doesn't matter. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And when you find those people, whether it's a business development person or another person on your team or a lender that truly care for you and your success and the success of a customer, then it really just starts clicking and all that kind of ties together.
I love that you guys both put the customers first. Angie, your customers are kind of agents too, as well as consumers. And Mario, you guys both are so service centered. And making sure that you're helping people make the right decisions for themselves, and using your expertise to do so. I absolutely love that. Let's talk a little bit about market dynamics. Mario, what's the most significant shifts that you've noticed in the real estate market recently, and how are you pivoting or teaching your agents to pivot your strategies to really set them up for success and stay ahead of that?
Sure, absolutely. Probably the biggest shift that we've seen, and this is probably more just this snapshot in time, is we're seeing a lot of buyers that would otherwise be buying homes right now sitting on the fence. And they're sitting on the fence, not to be political, but they are wondering what's going to happen, here in a month or so, who's going to end up taking office. And a lot of them, I feel, are sitting back and saying, hey, we're just going to wait and see how things roll out here. What are interest rates going to do? What is the market going to look like? What is the tapestry in Washington look like? So a lot of them that otherwise would be moving right now are sitting on the fence. So how are we pivoting to do that? It's just like what Angie said. We're staying in contact with those people that we know they're qualified, that know that are looking. But I will say this. The buyers that are out there looking right now, they're serious. They're not tire kickers. They may be getting a slightly higher interest rate than what they were used to a couple of years ago, but they are truly, truly, truly the ones that are out there looking right now. Those are the ones that are interested, and those are the buyers who will buy. Obviously, we're seeing the shift. I will touch just briefly on the NAR settlement changes, but that brings it back just down to more communication, more relationship based, just understanding and explaining how things work all together. And, that's a big piece. The last kind of shift here that we see with the sellers and homes being on the market longer, we kind of get two camps of sellers. We get the sellers who truly are listening to their professionals and they trust their real estate agent. They're building that trust, that relationship. They're listening. Or you get the ones that are kind of scared, panic. No, I'm going to go pick another agent. This isn't working. They're truly not listening right now, or not being, not leaning on the people that are professionals and experts to help them guide them through this time. So, but yeah, the biggest shift for the buyers is they're sitting on the market, and the sellers, we just kind of get those two specific camps. But back to pivoting and how we're doing that, it's all coming back to education, educating our agents to educate our customers and just build those relationships really is.
Are you doing the education yourself, or are you pointing in the direction of resources for how to do that? Or
A large part of it is our team starting with that. Okay, we're starting because we consider ourselves, an expert real estate advisor, and that may be pointing to the right, mortgage professionals, title inspections folks, credit building people. We are trying to position ourselves as someone that is reputable and trustworthy, and that we can build this relationship with, especially if those folks are sitting on the fence and not buying right now, or if the homes that are sitting on the market are marketing for this, are sitting on the market for a little bit longer. We want to be able to, truly have that relationship. So for the most part, we are doing it, but we may not be doing all the nuts and bolts of it. We may be directing to the industry professionals that can best help them.
I love that you touched on that, because we just talked about the partnerships between real estate professionals and mortgage professionals, but it goes so far beyond that, and having really strong partnerships, if you will, with other industry professionals like the ones that you just mentioned is so incredibly important, because you can't stay up on all of it yourself. So pointing them in the right direction of other resources is, I think, a phenomenal way to go about that for sure. Angie, I know you touched on this a little bit already, but from a changing perspective and how you're adapting and what you're doing beyond loving on your agents and getting out there to network with them, and then also offering more products and being a little bit more flexible. Any other things that you're doing to adapt and position yourself for success in 2025?
A lot of face to face still. Every single event, like you and I talked about, that I can be at, I'm at. If they call me and say, hey, we're going to have 200 police officers, we're having breakfast with cops next week. Can you be there? 7 a.m., an hour and a half away from home? You bet your butt I am. And I don't care where I'm actually staying at a hotel the night before. So for us, it's really just being present and staying face to face with everyone. And again, educate, 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 because a lot of people don't understand interest rates. Like when the Fed cut rates, the normal public doesn't understand that doesn't affect mortgage interest rates. So I had a lot of conversations with people that, yes, the Fed cut rates, but it doesn't have anything to do with mortgage interest rates. So again, being honest with people. You get farther if you're truthful with them and honest, and just be like, we don't know what's going to happen to rates. We don't have a magic 8 ball, but you can always refi. So, we're still doing you might want to buy now instead of waiting until the rates drop, because what if rates do drop drastically and then we're back into paying over appraised value, borrowing from your 401k, borrowing from your mom. Our FHA buyers might not be able to get accepted offers. And the same thing with our veterans, because when you get into that market where people are paying over, it's always our government buyers that are suffer first, because if they see cash or conventional and they're paying 50 grand over what they listed their house for, I mean, who wouldn't take that? I would take that, but it is a detriment to our veterans and to our first time home buyers. So again, just educating them, showing them historical rate data. This is not the highest rates we've ever seen, not even in the last 30 years. So just showing them facts and educating them has been our biggest piece.
Mm. Yeah, that hits actually straight into the next question I wanted to talk to both of you guys about, which is about focusing on the client and helping to meet their needs and help them achieve their goals that they have. So how are you? I mean, people are very perplexed and confused about this industry and how to go about it, especially if it's their first time. They don't do it very frequently. Let's be honest, you can't be a master at something that you do once every 7 to 9 years ever, which is why they turn to us for professionals and to help guide them and advocate for them. How are you easing that sense or creating a sense of stability and confidence with your clients as they're facing these challenging decisions ahead of them? Angie, do you have key communication techniques? Are you asking key questions up front? How are you kind of helping them achieve their goals as best you can?
Well, I'm still really old school. I still take paper applications. I would rather them not go to my website, because I can get more out of somebody in a 10-minute phone conversation than I'm ever going to get of them spending 10 minutes on my website. So if I don't, and they go to my website first and they apply and I don't get to talk to them before they do, then we're having a 20 to 30 minute phone conversation of, here's where your score is. Here's the programs you qualify for. So for me, again, education. And when you educate them and you build that trust with them, and if anyone wants to meet with me, I mean, I have 3 appointments Saturday morning at the office, 7, 8, and 9 a.m. before I go do an open house. I will meet anyone myself face to face, and I have a team of 7 or 8 that work for me, and I can send them. But when they meet with me, it's different and it hits different than if I have someone from my team meet them. But as much as it burned my soul, I also do a lot of videos, and I joined TikTok because if I had one more person call, well, I'm on TikTok. Well, TikTok needs to be blown up. But until it does, I'm going to be on TikTok, and I'm going to be educating, and I'm going to be doing all the videos. So every time someone asks me a question, I put it in my notes on my phone, fire off a video to my social media manager, and they take it from there. So again, it's about educating, and people are going to social media more to find out information, right? Because everything on TikTok is the truth. Yeah. So I just go out there, and so I've been pointing a lot of people to our TikTok, to our YouTube. And again, if we get a question, I'm making a note of it and we're shooting a video about it.
I absolutely love that tip. If you guys didn't jot that down, especially if you're into videos or if you're toying with the idea of doing videos, the content component is one of the most challenging things. What am I going to talk about? What am I going to address or say? I love that you're using that as an opportunity, and it's just your day to day.
Well, and if people aren't doing video, you guys, Abby can attest to this. The first time I did a call with you, how nervous was I? Horribly nervous. Like, I'm sure. And then, like, the first time I went on stage with Abby, I was like, you're going to have to hold my hand. I'm sweaty, all the things. But my business coach told me the more you do videos, the easier they get. And now I'm shooting videos because it takes me shorter time to do a video to a realtor than it is for me to text them back. And I'm like, since when am I a video person? But it has become easier. So if you're not doing videos, and everywhere I go, somebody says to me, I love your videos, once a day minimum. So if you're not doing video, you need to do video.
Yeah, they're a game changer, not just for how much, I mean, the algorithms love them too. They put you out in front of more people. It raises your SEO value, all the things that come along with it. But selfishly, from a personal perspective, they are so much more efficient to do. They're just quicker. And if you can get over the nervousness, I still get nervous doing all of mine too. But if you can overcome that, they are easy to do as well. I love that. Mario, how about you? What are you doing to adapt your services to meet your clients' ever evolving needs and stay engaged with them during times of, I mean, there's a lot of change going on in our market. How are you reaching deep into your client base?
There sure is. And I'm going to approach this a couple of different ways. So I agree with absolutely everything that Angie said is just, coming there from the education and education and informing them and doing it via video. I think that's awesome. The social media, that's awesome. When it comes down to the individual client that we're actually face to face with, we're starting every buyer journey, if you will, with a face-to-face rather than just meeting at a house or meeting at a coffee shop, that type of thing, and start walking through your homes. Obviously, some of the rule changes we're supposed to, but when we sit down and we kind of use our ears and our eyes in the proportion that God gave them to us, right? So 2 ears, 1 mouth, and we're listening to the client. We can't really address all the client needs unless we hear them. So when we actually start extracting, what are your needs? We know, oh, they've got some financing things here. We need that professional to kind of get creative on this side. Oh, we've got some challenges in how they're looking for homes or timelines or whatever. Timelines has been a big one. So let me kind of shift a little bit here. We have heard plenty of folks say that I have to sell now here in order to buy here, or I have to move from here. So the short-term rental piece has actually really, it's kind of come crazy. And Abby and Angie, you may remember, I spoke about this a long time ago, that we had a handful of rentals that we kept fully furnished when people were transitioning from like overseas, that type of thing, put a military person in there. And now we have all the time. We have people that have sold a home or they're selling a home, but they're still buying with us, but they need temporary housing. So we're using that. If I get very laser focused and specific about Florida, we just had two major hurricanes roll through here, and it was devastating to a lot of folks. So when folks were fleeing from the Tampa St. Pete area for this last one, they started calling us going, "Oh my gosh, we need help. What do you have in Jacksonville?" So literally we had some owners say, "Hey, my home's vacant right now. Let these folks come in here." I'm like, "For real?" So we got to the point where we're like housing hurricane refugees, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, that's too much liability in that." No, it was very short-lived. These people were ready to go back home. They just needed something. And we were uniquely positioned to hear a need and fill that need when we're there. Are we ever going to buy or sell these folks a home? Probably not. Do they remember who was there in their time of need? Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's kind of back there to really listening what's out there and us as professionals using all the tools and tricks we have to really help people that are in need, especially at this time, because some of the client needs that are out there are unique in this time. They really are.
Yeah. I love that you guys did that. I was so blown away when you shared that with me. So you're you're amazing. I just love both of you. Let's talk about that in a little bit more depth as it pertains not just to short-term rentals, but obviously serving your clients as best you can and accommodating their needs a little bit differently. But what are you doing to stand out in a very overcrowded market, Mario? I mean, we're at one of the peak times of what we've ever seen our realtor population at ever in the history, and we're down 2 million transaction counts since just a couple of short years ago. So the pie's a lot smaller, but there's a lot more people eating it or trying to. So what are you doing differently to stand out from the competition today?
So there's a bunch here. First and foremost, let me just say that I feel that the real estate industry has been under pretty tight scrutiny right now with some of the things that have happened in the media and in the media storm around the settlement and that type of thing. So first and foremost, we are trying to, I'll say, build back the reputation to a level where we want it, not what Joe consumer thinks, not what the media thinks, but what we as professionals want our reputation to be. We are treating others with respect, other agents, other customers, everything, to really kind of get out of this. Not that we didn't before, but it has to be forefront right now. Again, back to the Dwayne Rock, the Rock quote there, we're truly caring for these people and building this trust relationship. I will say that Homes for Heroes in itself is a big distinguisher to break out from the crowd. When people find out that you're giving something back, asking nothing in return, that you're giving something back to them, that is huge in today's age. And then also giving back to, the whole circle of giving and back there, helping others. It is huge. So really kind of going back to the fundamentals, honesty, integrity, courage to do what's right. We're going to run into people that aren't necessarily doing the right thing, and to have the courage to stand up for what is right and again make sure that everybody is treated properly is a big thing. I will also say this: it's probably a time now for the me's and the Angies more than ever before to really kind of pour back into our own organizations and help kind of raise up those leaders that are also going to come in our behind us to continue to treat people the way that we want to be treated in this, not just a quick transaction, but this relationship to be, those people. I mean, I think helping others always has been something huge. Just kind of as a sideline, I don't know how to quantify this. But my association with Homes for Heroes and giving to different organizations, I get calls from, and I'm not a big high power agent myself. I don't do a whole lot, but I'll get personal phone calls from association staff and representatives, MLS representatives, local CPAs, local title companies saying, "Hey, I'd really like you to help these, my relative, my friend, my person that's in need right now." They see us, those folks that are Home for Heroes affiliates, those folks that are known for giving back. They see us as different already from the crowd. I had probably once a week, I have someone say, "Hey, I have come to work with you, or someone referred me to you because they tell me you really don't care about money, that you're here to help people. And just to hear that kind of goes back into the service piece here. I will say also this, and kind of distinguishing ourselves from the crowd. We can get into all the naysayers and talk about everything that's happening and the difficulties, but rather than looking at the difficulties, look at the opportunities. People still have the opportunity to buy a home. Buyers can get concessions. Sellers can still sell their home and communicate things to really kind of transfer, I'll call it positive energy, right? To bring that the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will, during some of these times. It really, really, really is breaking you out from the pack, because so many folks are focused on kind of some of the negative things that have happened, the scrutiny that we're under. Last piece here is just back when I say listening to clients and their needs. We have seen some unique challenges at this time. We've had let me give you just a quick story, and then I know I don't want to take too much time. I've got a unique customer. She was referred to me. She's an elderly woman. She is selling her home and moving into an elderly facility, an assisted care facility. She's fantastic. She's one of my favorite people on the planet, and I just met her. And she needs this much money to sell her home. The market will support this. The problem is she's lived so long in her home, the entire thing is dilapidated. It just really is. And no one can sell the home for what she needs out of it. And it's like, oh my gosh, what do we do here? And we were able to come up with a thing to say, hey, look, can we potentially buy the home for what she needs? And I know this doesn't work for everybody, but it's just outside of the box. Can we potentially buy the home for what she needs? Because we have a rental arm to, and then rent it until the time comes that we could sell it. We could do basic renovations. We could do whatever we need to do. And it was very interesting to be able to find a solution. This kind of just goes back to listening to the customers, to find a solution to this customer's needs that are kind of outside the box. And after I proposed this to Jane, and again, she's one of my favorites, she said, I want you to talk to a friend of mine. We'll just call him Gus, so he can remain nameless. Like, Gus helps me with everything now. Jane has no family. She's outlived her husband. She has no kids. There's nobody else. It's just her. And I get this call from Gus, and he says how much he's looking out for her. And he's going to, he knows me and he's a man of power. I'm like, okay, all right, I got it, whatever. And after talking to him for a while, he's like, wow, I think this is the only solution for Jane. I think this is it. And we walked through everything completely transparent. And afterwards he said, he then told me that he was like the CEO of this big military veteran group down here. And he was blown away to hear about the Homes for Heroes type thing. He didn't know about it. And so it goes back to listening, breaking away from the crowd, to your original question, listening to the customer, doing what we can as professionals to help them, and then just letting the rest play out.
Oh my gosh. First of all, thank you for sharing that story. I absolutely love that. You are both always so outside the box and trying to do what's right for your people. And both of you are people of integrity, without a doubt. I also love a ton of the golden nuggets. I'm probably going to botch summarizing them, but I will do my best to do it. But building back a reputation as an industry for people that we want to be and what we want other people to perceive us as. I relate this back to when COVID started, right? Everyone's like, wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. And I'm like, when did we ever get away from like washing your hands before you eat, or like washing your hands after you leave a restroom? Like, it was so mind-boggling. But you get even just the tiniest amount of degrees off. Mario, you know this as a pilot, you're going to go to a completely different destination the longer that you are on that course. And it can just be a small shift in course, and getting back to where we all need to be as professionals, I think, is unbelievable. You also talked about having core values, essentially, right? Being somebody of honor, sticking to your word, listening to the client and doing what's right by them. So making sure that your core values are truly aligned with who you want to be, and then putting those into action. The action component can be a little bit harder for some, for sure. So love it, making it about the service, not the money, looking for opportunities. This is the last thing I wanted to recap on. Tony Robbins has a saying, where focus goes, energy flows. And I absolutely love that. Whatever you're focused on usually is what comes about and comes to fruition. And this goes back to Angie talking about coming from abundance and not scarcity to whatever it is that you're focused on. If you're focused on the problem, you're going to see a lot more problems, challenges, issues in front of you. If you're focused on the solution or the positive or the good, it's not being naive about it. It's not sticking your head in the sand. It's just going to bring about more opportunity and more growth and more solutions and all that kind of stuff. So being focused on that and letting that come through in your communication to your clients is only going to help shift their own perspective to also see more solutions and opportunities and not just get stuck with all the other stuff where we're at. So like I said, I probably did a botched job of summarizing what you so eloquently said before. But there were a lot of golden nuggets in there. Rewind to what Mario said. It's much better than me. Angie, I want to get your take on this too.
Yes,
Standing
ma'am.
out in a market and just what are you doing differently?
Well, I've actually done a total 180 since I came to Fairway because part of the reason I came here was like Mario said, it's the service, it's the nonprofits. You know, we have two nonprofits. We have the American Warrior Initiative where we give away service dogs to veterans across the country. And then we have Fairway Cares that sends packages for people who have critical illness or have had a death in their family. Um, and so since I came to Fairway, I'm now on 13 nonprofit boards, all local to my county and the county north of me in Indiana. And it's really the giver's gain. We want to be known as the mortgage company that gives back to the community. I just did an article because I'm celebrating, I think I'm 422 days now with no alcohol. So I did a pretty awesome article with the county north of me about my sobriety and about how our industry really, they shove alcohol in your face everywhere you go. And so it was just the shift in mindset for me of I don't have to drink at every event and I can also help other people do that. But since I've done that article, the amount of people that I've helped and not knowing that I've actually helped them
Yes.
was amazing. Just me telling my story and just saying, you don't have to drink. And you know,
There you go.
oh, there I'm back. I don't know what happened. Zoom did something to me. My screen shifted. But you know, just it's been a change in mindset. And like I said earlier, instead of being scarcity, it's abundance. If I have another lender locally from Indiana that calls me and says, Turley, what are you doing about this and this and this? I just tell them because I can tell everything to everybody that I do in my business. I can tell them we do 100 golf outings. I can tell them we hit 30 offices. I can give them my whole pop by calendar for the year. Doesn't mean they're going to do it. So I am all about sharing the knowledge and sharing the wealth. And so we just want to be known as the mortgage company and the team that gives back to the community without, like Mario said, expecting anything in return. I mean, when those hurricanes hit, our CEO came out and Fairway has given $1 million to anyone across the country that we know that is hurting. And so far, we're at $250,000 that literally we fill out a form for our clients, and our CEO is overnighting a check the next day to people that are in need. And so for me, again, giver's gain all day. I will, if they call me and ask me to be on a nonprofit board, especially police, fire, veterans, senior citizens, children, dogs. I mean, you know, all the things that make you cry. If they call me, I am in. And I just, Fairway has been a game changer for me. I've never celebrated a 5-year anniversary at any company besides Homes for Heroes. I think I'm at 11 years this year because I apparently have commitment phobia. It's fine. But this place has made me want to be such a better person because of how much they give. And our CEO, like with the core values, we have 10 core values, and our very first one is humility. And it starts at the top and it comes all the way down. And our CEO now is giving more money out than he ever has. And it's just amazing to see. And it's amazing to follow leadership like that, that really does want to make a difference in people's lives.
Oh, I love that. Wow. I don't even know where to start. First of all, congratulations on your
Thank
sobriety. I
you.
think that's a
Thank you.
huge milestone, and a big shift, especially in the industries that we're in, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And just I love that giver's gain component of it, right? And how much you're doing to pour back into your community. It's not just your clients. I know both of you know this very, very well. You impact not just the people that are in that immediate client relationship, it's their whole world around them. You guys are truly helping build the communities that you work in by getting people into homes or getting them out of homes. It's the community itself, which is so pivotal, and being able to give back and pour back into them, because they help us be successful at the end of the day. It's again that whirlwind of goodness, if that's what you're focused on, for sure. Mario, did you have anything you wanted to add? I saw a lot of head nodding.
No, I'm just, sitting in awe and at the same time, just agreeing with everything she said. If I was going to correct anything that Angie would say, I would go all the way back to the beginning, just to contest one thing. She said she's been in the mortgage business for like 30 years. That means she started when she was what, two, three? I mean, come on.
14, in all fairness, was my first real estate job. So yes, I'm getting older, Mario. Thank you.
Angie, Mario just had a birthday too, if you want to pose the question of which one he celebrated.
More than half my life is in the rear view mirror. Let's just put it
Yeah.
that way. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, we've got just a few more minutes left on this. Feel free to throw in questions if you guys have them at all. I want to look ahead to 2025. We're almost done with October. So we're a third of the way through Q4 of 2024. If you are not looking at your plans and what you're going to strategize and do and accomplish in 2025, I would encourage you to start doing that today or this week sometime, because it does take a while to build out plans and whatnot. So, Mario, to you first, looking ahead to 2025, what key strategies are you developing to ensure your business remains agile? Or I know you're not big into practicing right now either. What are you teaching your agents to do to be ready for whatever the market may bring next year?
Absolutely. So, and I'm going to be recapping a lot of what Angie just said. We're focusing on education, but education to our agents. So if I was talking about training our agents and other people kind of like in the association, it's back to basics. It's to know your contracts, know your processes, know basic lead gen, know and really lean into follow up, because of the timelines and everything. Marketing techniques. She talked about video and social and how important that is, and using technology. I mean, in our phones right now, Angie said this. She said if she needs to answer a question, she'll answer it with video. We're finding that the same thing. You get lead that comes in to answer them in video, to take a quick second and text them back a video. It's like, whoa, after an open house, to text them a quick video. Hey, thanks so much for coming by. It's just a little bit different and a little bit more than the average agent is doing, and it's paying off in spades. So, I mean, we have in our phone with that technology, more technology in a cell phone than what took Neil Armstrong and his crew to the moon. And we just really need to use it as much as possible. Things are innovating so quickly. So we lean a little bit into that. I'm sure we won't go into AI and chat GPT and that type of thing, but we're trying to train our agents on the basics and then teach them to use the tools and the professionals they have out there to move forward. We're also teaching them, and I think this is very important. We're teaching them not to be afraid of change. There's been change in our industry, probably the biggest disruptor that we've seen. And moving forward, I'll quote Benjamin Franklin. I got to look over here at this little thing. Benjamin Franklin said that change is the only constant in life, the only one. And he said one's ability to adapt to those changes will determine your success in life. And I fully believe that. You listen to how long Angie's been at this, how long you've been at this, so many of the affiliates and the people that are in the real estate industry, real estate folks and mortgage professionals, they're some of the most agile entrepreneurs that I know of. We have gone through mortgage crisis. We've gone through appraisals and inspection, craziness. We you name it, Chinese drywall, and now this, the settlement. People have to be agile. They have to be able to adapt with change and move forward. So really, 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 we're training our agents. Don't be afraid of what's happening right now. It won't be the last change, but continue to be resilient. use the tools, focus on your education, listen to the customers, be of service, and just continue moving forward.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. And it's so smart to help them embrace it because even if you don't right out the gate, challenging change, it's going to happen anyways. It's just going to take you longer to get to where you need to be. So I love that you're helping equip them through education and other techniques to embrace it and see through it to the other side, because those that can get to the other side and adapt to it and be resilient through it quicker are going to reap the rewards, more of them, right? And also see that benefit faster too. Angie, same question to you. What are you doing, putting in place, strategizing for success in 2025?
Well, we're just going quarter by quarter right now. So we're focusing on first quarter because we really don't know what's going to happen with rates. Because what if we do have to pivot and we get into another refi market? So we're just kind of just holding off. Let's just do quarter by quarter. So again, for us this last quarter, focus on loving on the realtors. And then first part of next year, we're setting up home buyer Zooms. I personally pick my top 10 agents and they get to do January, February, March. We do home buyer Zoom classes every single month with them. So I personally do 30 Zoom calls a month, and it is exhausting, but my realtors love it. So if we can just, again, help them, and Zoom is easy, you guys. They post these on Facebook. I had one realtor who it was her third year this year. We did 3 of them. We did 1 in person in March. She closed 9 buyers from those this year. And so she's already called me to say, hey, what are my dates in January, February, and March? So again, loving on them, but also looking at being cost effective. Let's be real. I mean, my paycheck dwindled. Plus, I have 8 people on my team and I am overstaffed, and I know I am overstaffed. So I paid half of my team's salaries last year, which was not what I was expecting, but I was not letting my team go. So I took that risk because I know my team is worth it. So, we do a lot of Dollar Tree stuff. And then all of the things that we're doing, we're also passing on to our realtors. The pop buys, you can do those with your clients. You can find something cheap to mail to them every month. And Mario earmuffs, before I got Josh, my business development manager, I didn't call on realtors because, to be honest, I don't really like realtors because you're only as good as your last deal with realtors. And realtors here in Indiana are flighty. And if they see a shiny object, they're going for it. And I don't have time to chase realtors. So I've always been 65% non-realtor referral. But then my top 10 agents get a minimum of 2 referrals back from us a month. But since I got him, he has flipped the script and now we're 50-50. But we're still able to give our top 10 agents, because we're so ingrained in our communities and what we do. We get a lead a day from Facebook. We get about a lead and a half between Instagram and TikTok, and then about a half a lead from community events. So we're averaging 3 leads a day that come to us without a realtor. And so we're able to hand those back to our top 10 agents. And it's because of all of the marketing we do. It's about staying in front of them. It's about dripping on them, having your CRM in place. So we're taking our business practices, and anyone who will listen in the real estate world, we're hosting classes with them or one-on-ones or lunch and learns at their office to say, hey, what do you want to know about? We will teach you and we will educate you. So again, first quarter, like I've already got, I think I looked yesterday, 21 Zoom calls scheduled between January and February. We have vision board classes we're doing with our real estate offices, and we already have 7 of those planned in the next 90 days. And again, how hard is it to go to the Dollar Tree and buy some cardboard poster boards and some magazines and some scissors and glue sticks, and you go sit with a bunch of realtors for a couple hours? And you bring wine, which again, alcohol. I still now bring, non-alcoholic drinks, but there's going to be people that are going to drink, and I don't care about being around it. So I always bring a mocktail, and then I always bring booze, and then we'll bring some sort of snack. But again, doing it cheap, staying in front of them, and keeping those relationships. And I won't work with every realtor. Not every realtor is a fit for me, and I'm okay with that. Just like I'm not a fit for everyone. And we know our core people. If you don't fit in our core values, we're not working with you. And I'm okay. I fired a realtor last week because he got sideways with my processor. I just don't have time for people to be nasty to my people. So we really look for golden people. And then going into 2025, we're going to help elevate those people and help elevate their business.
Wow. No, I love that. That's where that rubber meets the road when you talk about having core values and not just saying that you have them, but truly putting that and seeing that through in action. Who you associate with, who helps to represent your clients is truly an extension of you. It's so important to make sure that you are working alongside and partnering with the right people, because ultimately that ends up being your reputation as well. So key component. We've got 5 minutes left. I know we've got some questions about Angie, your pop by calendar. If you wouldn't mind just popping that off to me via
I will send that
email,
to you.
that would be
Yeah.
amazing. Thank you so much. And then last but not least, we covered so much stuff. You guys are so chock full of wisdom, and it's truly helping not just your businesses grow, but your people around you grow. What would be one thing that you would encourage either an agent or a lender to implement or do tomorrow to help them be successful into the future? I'm putting you on the spot with this, so who wants to go first?
I don't care. For me, the biggest game changer was when Josh told me I had to go to real estate offices every day or every month. I was like, oh my God, like you're about to make me vomit. I have to actually go inside of them and be what? But it's funny because now we've been doing this it'll be 2 years in January. I look forward to these days every month. He drives, I work, he does the route. In every single office we go in, he did a couple while I was on vacation last week, and they were all like, where's Angie at? Where's Angie at? So again, where I go with this story is it doesn't matter what you do, be consistent. You have to be consistent because you can throw shit against the wall. It doesn't always mean it's going to stick. But if you are consistent with something, it will work. We are now seeing business from realtors I never, ever in my wildest dreams thought we would have ever gotten business from in the last 2 years because of the consistent of us being in these offices every single month.
I love that. Great piece of advice. Mario?
Mine is more of a holistic thing, and it ties into like what Angie said in kind of her last comments, and that's be yourself, right? You're not going to be right for every single customer, but if you try and be someone that you're not, people are going to see through that. It's fake. So be honest, be genuine. Pour into yourself. So if you need education, get education. If you need to know the contracts, get it. If you're not good on social media, find someone who is, find someone that you can lean into in the industry so that you can better serve your customers. So be yourself, find what works for you, and just go after it. And that goes into the consistency part.
Yeah, I love that. We always talk about, if you play to your strengths, you're going to be more consistent at doing things because you actually truly enjoy doing them and you're not dragging yourself along the journey along the way. And that goes both right alongside with what both of you shared. You guys are absolutely, truly extraordinary. I cannot thank you enough for being on the show with us, pouring into everybody that has been on here with us. There's so many great ahas and takeaways over in the chat if you haven't popped that up. But yeah, you guys are both busy. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Angie, please tell Josh thanks for driving so that you could join us. Mario,
I
thanks
will.
for
Angie
joining us.
even got me lunch too. He's on one today. He's doing good.
I love it. I love it. You guys are amazing. We are so grateful to have you a part of our Homes for Heroes family here. But thank you for taking the time and pouring into everybody else to help us raise the bar in our industries. It's much appreciated.
Absolutely.
Good to see you guys. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
You know that I feel